Welcome back, Alpha Hunters. Hope everybody is having a very terrific Thursday. Let's see what is going on with the markets today, because we didn't really have much of a gap. It might be a quick live stream slash mid week recap video for you, but we didn't really gap too much. It was a pretty quiet day there on far as the morning start there. A little bit of a pullback, nice push here for about an hour. Yeah, about an hour. And that's about where we sit. We had a little bit of a pullback, a little bit of a push, and then we'll see if we roll over here. But I mean, we haven't really done much since really kind of that first hour and a half of action. But we're only up, about a third of a percent there on the SPY for the day. The Qs, a little bit more crazy action actually here to start the day, but they had a pretty flat open, sold off their first 20 minutes. They pushed for about an hour and a half, and that's kind of where we sit. A little bit of a pullback push and kind of rolling over a little bit. What's kind of concerning here, actually, I didn't really notice this earlier, but the Qs, a little bit of a lower high here intraday compared to the SPY, which had a little bit of a higher high. So typically, whenever you see like kind of a little switch like that, whichever way the Qs is switching towards, this way down, I would say maybe we do pull back as we go into close. But we'll see if that happens or not. IWM, kind of a flat open, real quick snapback, nice pusher for about an hour, and yeah, there you go, about an hour and a half actually. But yeah, it's pretty flat up here at the top of the day. DIA looks pretty good. All right, a little bit of a lower open, still kind of flat. Nice push there for about an hour and 15 minutes. Very flag patterny pullback here. Pretty long flag pattern there for about an hour and a half. And then, yeah, nice push here for about an hour and a half. So, yeah, it looks pretty good there on the DIA. Currently up towards those daily highs, up a little bit over 2/3%. Yeah, looking pretty good there on the DIA. Wow. RSP kind of flat open as well. Push there for first hour and a half. Kind of up at the daily highs, looking somewhat decent. Currently up about 0.6% there on the RSP. Yeah, it looks pretty good here. Looks pretty good here. Got above this wick that we put in on Tuesday. See if we hold it before close. And if we don't, and we come back down, especially across a lot of the different markets here, I would expect we probably do pull back a little bit more. I was kind of surprised we didn't pull back like one more day, to kind of connect in with the moving averages. But yeah, I mean, we just might be on a pretty good run here. Set up a decent Elliott wave, like 5 count, possibly. Where's my Elliott wave here? There we go. Possibly a 1, 2, maybe we're going on a 3, 4, 5, something like that later on. Be interesting to see if that happens. The RSP looking pretty good today, actually. So rotation into a lot of the other stocks that are not the big tech area looking pretty good still today. DIA, yep, looking really good. Nice extension there on the DIA. That looks pretty strong. Looks like it's going to run back up to its all-time highs that it put in back in late March. Other than that, looks pretty good there on the DIA. IWM, not getting above that Tuesday high. Yeah, had a pretty significant gap down yesterday. And that's really about it. Yeah, I mean, that's about it for now. It looks okay. Looks okay. The Qs, though. So the Qs, as we talked about, the intraday looks kind of weak. And yeah, I mean, not getting above the Tuesday highs. Obviously, the IWM is not either. Yeah, I mean, we just got this lower high intraday. So we'll see if that amounts to any kind of selling we'll see towards the end of the day. Other than that, that would be what I'm going to focus on, is probably how we close today on the markets. If big tech starts to sell off and Qs probably sell off, probably takes a SPY with it, and we'll see where we close at today. Maybe we'll see what that looks like tomorrow as well. SPY, yep, got above that Tuesday high. So the Qs are not above their Tuesday high. The SPY is. So this is kind of like another one of those switches, but this was on daily, right? The SPY making a new high. The Qs are not. And it makes sense, right? We saw the RSP making a pretty good extension, nice rotation into a lot of the different areas, not just big tech, looking really good there. And the DIA as well, IWM, yep. I mean, IWM not taking out the Tuesday high, but nice bullish day today. But the big tech is not doing well today, and it might be that big tech is just resting, right? A lot of earnings over the 2 previous weeks. A lot of big tech earnings are gone, so maybe a lot of big tech names are just starting to just rest. Maybe for the next, maybe just this week, maybe next week. We'll see. Take a look at the VIX. VIX continues to pull down. This thing has dropped off very rapidly. Really kind of surprised how rapid of a drop off this has been. And that's just kind of where we are in the market. People just want to stay as bullish as possible. And I'm kind of curious on how bullish everybody is. DXY. So we talked about this yesterday. This is a pretty good spot as we kind of retested, or we kind of talked about this Tuesday, a little bit yesterday. It's right into these lows that we put in late April right here. Is this going to be the spot, since we broke that down here to start May? Is that where we retest into and we reject? Or we get back above the moving averages, find support on the moving averages, and continue higher? Right now, it looks like we are going to reject there. Cause we got 2 upper wicks in a row, and obviously breaking down today. Yeah, not looking good there on the DXY. So DXY looks like it might be time for bearishness on the DXY. GLD. So if dollar's gonna be bearish, I mean, gold's gonna look really, really good, man. I even kind of like this, a little bit of this pattern here. You got a little bit of a shoulder, neck, head, a little bit of a shoulder, just not at the not shoulder but neckline. You got a shoulder here, almost the same spot. So we'll see if we break out, do something like that, and continue higher. But yeah, if you're thinking the dollar DXY is gonna be dropping off, I mean, gold's gonna be looking really, really good. Gold's doing very well today. 10-year yield continues to break down. We did have treasury auction about an hour ago on the 30-year yield. So yeah, you can see 10-year yield breaking down there. So as a look on the 30-year yield, not as bad, not as bad. So the 10-year yield's getting hit a little bit more, but yeah, still got hit pretty good there. Okay, so at least that's what yields are doing. How's the 2-year? Not really its cup of tea for bond auctions today, but it saw some volatility about an hour ago. Nothing crazy, nothing like what we got this morning. What kind of news did we get this morning? Initial jobless claims, which, yeah, initial jobless claims did come in a little bit higher at 231,000 compared to the forecast for 210 and prior month at 209. So we kind of saw that with unemployment and non-farm payroll, I believe, last week. And so that is continuing the whole, unemployment job market starting to see some weakness, right? Non-farm payroll data came in really, really light, and then the unemployment rate did tick higher. So yeah, we're starting to see more of the data say, yeah, the job market not looking as strong as it has been really for the past year and a half. That has surprised a lot of economists, investors, even the Fed. The Fed's mentioned it at several meetings, even some press conferences, like how strong the labor market has been. It's been one of the things that they've been surprised about, and what has kept the economy really, for the most part, kind of going. 10 and 2 inversion, pulling back a little bit today. Okay, nothing kind of crazy going on there. HYG just kind of dojiing. Maybe has pulled back here over the past couple days into the moving averages. Nice little kiss right off that 10 EMA. I'll zoom in here, right off of that sucker. So maybe that's where it bounces and we move higher there on the HYG. All right, LQD bouncing a little bit. Maybe this looks pretty good for the moving averages to come up and push that thing higher. TLT bounced right off the 10 and the 20 there today, so that looks pretty strong. Okay, so yeah, we had a pretty strong start to bond prices to start the month, and it looks like we just kind of pulled back into the beginning part of today and finding some pretty good support and bouncing. Now, as far as sector rotation goes, let's take a look. So we got yields that are dropping off, especially longer term yields. Longer term yields typically will affect real estate more. And there you go. Real estate with yields dropping. Real estate doing pretty well today. Real estate up almost 2% on the day. Looking really strong there. Utilities continuing to outperform. All right. Continuing to do pretty well. Energies doing pretty well. Materials, discretionaries, industrials, healthcare, and staples all doing pretty well there. Financials and communications are also outperforming. And then we got tech. Big tech, underperformer of the day. Makes sense as we're seeing pretty good flows into the RSP, IWM, DIA, SPYs even doing pretty good. But the Qs definitely not doing all that great. And there you go. That's why tech underperforming a pretty good amount there. We got intraday tech. Yep, at the lower end of the day. Communications also underperforming. You got real estate, even though it had a pretty good gap up, hasn't really done so much during the day, but outperforming a little bit there. Financials also, materials, staples, energies, industrials, healthcare, discretionaries, and utilities at the upper end of the day. Intraday price action right there. Nice on utilities.